Prepare for war? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. With everything going on in the world right now, China, Taiwan, mainly speaking, maybe North Korea, who knows, maybe South Korea. There's a lot going on in the world right now. What if we end up going to war with China? What are some of the things to expect and how to prepare for it? Well, first, if we're at war with somebody, we obviously are not going to be receiving any of their goods anymore. So if we had to do without everything China sends us, how would that affect us? That would affect a lot of things. Be shortages in a lot of areas. Dollar stores go out of business. No, seriously, that's not really funny. There's a lot of effects that would have on us. Rationing, and a lot of other. One thing I want you to think about is, I don't know if a lot of people realize this, how much of our food comes from China? I don't know exactly. I know that we do get food from China. And it's probably a fairly large amount. Meats, chicken, stuff like that. Yeah. So if we're at war, we're going to war, say, hypothetically, potentially, what do we do about it? Well, honestly, unless we're going to enlist in the military or jump on a plane and go over there and fight, we just keep on prepping. And preparing for preppers to really be the bad guys. To be really came down upon hard. World War II saw rationing. If there's any major conflict, guarantee there will be rationing of food, supplies, stuff like that. So we would be seen as the bad guys. We would be pinned into a corner. And eminent domain, the government would probably try to come take our food storage, the things we have. So, we need to be doing the things I talk about primarily over on Patreon. $1 a month, link in the description below. Security, defensive type stuff. That would be important because I tell you what, I worked hard and I prepared for my family and for others around me. Nobody's going to take away that from me without a fight, that's for sure. I don't care who it is. It's my property. I am a free man. My family are free Americans. But it will come if that scenario plays out. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to shelter in place? Try to defend what you have? Are you going to bug out and try to defend there? Are you going to form groups, communities, and try to defend that? It's all options. And they all have their time and place. The group thing almost always has its time and place. But bugging out is not optimal. But it may have its place and time. We need to be aware of this and prepared for this. We need to really up our game. Big time. As I said, if this comes, we have rationing, shortages, on top of everything else going on right now, people losing their jobs and stuff. There's going to be a lot of violence and chaos all around the U.S. Not even having anything to do with the war, just the effects of it, the rationing, and etc. Also, in eminent domain, war powers acts type things. What if the government comes and takes all farms, all ranches, complete and utter control of the food supply because they have to keep us safe and to provide for us? Think about that. Let that set in for a minute. What about private gardens like this one right here? Will we go back to victory gardens where the government empowers and uplifts people and tries to get people to grow their own food? Or would they enjoy the power of control over you? I lean towards the latter in this government and in this day and age. It's not like World War II. There's a lot of differences. I have a feeling that we're going to have to become the greatest generation of Americans, or we'll become the last. Something important to think about. What do we do? Well, have the capability of growing your own food, like these here. Raising your own animals, providing for yourselves, as well as stockpiling food. But really, maybe make sure that you're also putting emphasis on the ability to secure and defend what you have. Maybe where you plant your garden. Make it less visible. Put it somewhere where people can't see it when they drive by or from your neighbor's house. That may be really difficult if you're in an urban environment or a suburban environment where you got houses all over the place. I'm lucky, I'm blessed where I don't. And the people that are around me also all have gardens and animals and do that kind of stuff. You may not be in that situation. If you're in a city and rationing comes down where you don't have property to grow this stuff, can you grow indoors in your apartment? Sure, of course you can, but you're not going to meet all your needs. Just a sec. Sorry, little one was messing with when I drew some artichokes that's blown over by the wind and the rain and stuff like that. I didn't want her messing with it in that direction. I'm trying to keep it held up in the other direction. What was I talking about? Now I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah, you can produce some food in your apartment, in your house, stuff like that, but it's not going to meet all your needs. That's where food storage comes in. But if you're in a city, that'll run out. And everything will run out. Just being honest. Get out of the cities. I know, easier said than done. I get it. It is difficult, I know. But do the best you can. If this plays out like this, it's going to be a world of hurt. And the only people that will be fed and taken care of are the ones that are willing to play the game. Remember that. That are willing to comply with what the government says. Not those that don't agree with certain things and won't get certain things. Yeah, that's why it's important to be self-sufficient. And like I said, if you're in the city, other prepper channels have been talking about this forever. Get out of the cities. If you haven't done so yet, well, I hate to say it, but I don't know. You've had your chance. I know it's difficult. I know you'd have to give up that high-paying job with all the fancy things. Screw the fancy things. Get out in the country, homestead, play with your kids instead of working 20 hours a day. And yes, I get it. It is difficult. But I tell you what, difficult times call for difficult measures. What are you willing to do to provide for your family? For their food, for their security, for their well-being and their lives themselves. If you're stuck in a city, sayonara, baby. You're gone. I'm sorry. To be point blank, yeah, you're SOL. You're done. So hopefully you'll be moving out. And I don't know what the availability of that is. At least if you have to live in the city, at least have some good bug out locations, please. I want you guys to be able to survive and hopefully thrive. Get some bug out locations, different ones in different cardinal directions, and practice going there. Have supplies stored there. Do all these things so that you can, even if it's the last minute, you can get out of the city. Please, because you're going to want to get out of there. Trust me, you're not going to want to be stuck in a city with all the rioting, looting, burning, chaos, food lines, rationing, all this stuff. You want to get out in the rural areas, around good people, doing good things. Just remember, it was their area first. You conform to their way of life, not vice versa. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope this comes to nothing, but please subscribe, hit the like button, comment below. Let me know what you think about this, what the likelihood of it is, stuff like that. Ring the notification bell, check out the links in the description. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.